Hello citizens and welcome back. This is our match reaction from Man City 4, Ipswich 1 in the Premier League, so make sure to hit the like button, hit subscribe as well. Let's jump into it. So City 1, Ipswich 4 is probably a result that you'd expect, and in fairness, in my match preview, I did say we were going to win this game 4-1, and I also said I wouldn't trust Edison to ever keep a clean sheet. Well, there we are. Prediction correct. I should be a better man. No, betting's wrong. Don't do that. Now, look, let's get into it. So the lineup was pretty much the same as it was last week. So we had Edison in goal. It was Diaz in defence alongside Vardiol, Lewis, and Kanji. Then in midfield, you had Kovacic, De Bruyne, Bernardo. Out right, you had Savinho. Out left, you had Doku. And up front, you had Haaland. And look, against teams like Ipswich, and I said this in the match preview as well, you have to beat that new promotion feeling out of them. You know, they're riding high on their emotions. They're playing in the Premier League for the first time for many of them. You know, Ipswich themselves haven't been in there for a couple of decades. I mean, we were crap the last time we played them in the league. So you have to beat out of them. And Liverpool kind of did it last week on them, but they still went into this on a bit of energy. And you saw that early on. Yes, we had possession. Yes, we had the ball in their half. But how many times do we say that Pep's high line is going to cause us so many problems? And it did. And it gave them confidence as well. You can see that when they scored, they were kind of giving it the big, and the manager was, the players were on the pitch. You know, and it was a simple goal. We gave away, push up to the halfway line. They beat the offside trap quite easily. One-on-one Bedison feeds it through. I think it goes through his legs in the end. I haven't seen the highlights, but I think it goes through his legs from where I was sat. Goes in the net. 1-0 to them. But fair play to City. We didn't let them kind of get a feeling for it, because within 8-10 minutes, whatever it was, we were 3-1 up, and we just absolutely battered them in the rest of that first half. And we kind of saw the difference in levels from the Championship to the Premier League, and we put our foot down in that first half, because that's what we're focused on right now. So the first goal was a penalty. It was a penalty. I mean, the referee, I could talk about him for a while, because I think he had a bit of a shocker, to be honest with you. I think he was trying to stamp his authority on the game, and I think he's trying to give it the big in himself, and he gave some interesting decisions. But the penalty, for how long it took him to give that, is unbelievable to me. It didn't need VAR. He was right on top of it. I could see from the other end of the pitch that it was a penalty. Get that. Haaland rolls it in nice and comfortable. The second one comes very soon after. Moritz gives the ball away. Savinho, feeding De Bruyne, goal. Then the third from Haaland, wonderful ball by De Bruyne over the top for Haaland. He does so well, Haaland, knocks it around the keeper with his head, dinks it over the defender trying to clear off the line. And from that point on, we were in cruise control. We hit the bar twice. Lewis should have scored. De Bruyne was unlucky with his shot from 30 yards out. And again, we just kind of strangled them out of the game in that first half. But there's one thing that we didn't do last season that we've done in all the previous seasons under Pep, and that is when games like this, when we're playing newly promoted teams, when we're playing teams where we're winning, but where we scored 3 in the first 16 minutes of the game, what we would do a couple of years ago is we would drive that home and we'd finish with 5, 6, 7. We really hammer these teams, but in this game we didn't do that, and we didn't do that last season. We were scraping through games 1-0, 2-1, 2-0, 3-1, things like that. We would really drive home the result, and that's what I wanted to see in this game. In the second half, I really wanted us to drive home that advantage and get. We got the fourth in the end, but it didn't like it was coming for a long time, because they died off, we died off. Both teams were just content for the whole games. We played on the edge of their box, all 11 of their players in like a 10-yard space inside their box, and we're just up there with them, and they're trying to hit us on the counter. They couldn't go anywhere, and we just didn't get enough for me. We should have got more goals in this one, and it should have been really 6 or 7 goals today. But that being said, it's the first home game of the season. It's 3 points. It's 2 wins out of 2. We've still not played the full first team yet. Pep made a couple of changes in the second half. Gundogan got an incredible. He probably got the loudest cheer than the goals or anything. Then Gundogan's return was unbelievable. Great to see him back. Of course, Grealish came on as well. Stones came on. So we're starting to get plays in it now, which is good. Unfortunately, just in time for the international break in a week or so. But we got 6 points. We've scored 6 goals and we've conceded 1. Not a bad return, to be fair. So you can't be too mad about that. But looking at the game as well, looking at the plays, because we're going to get into the plays now, and we'll give the plays a few ratings. So in defence, I think Lewis on the right-hand side was phenomenal again today. He was great against Chelsea. He was great in the friendlies as well. Good in the Community Shield. But he was fantastic in this game. What I will say is that he's good when he's got the ball to his feet. We've seen that with the half turn. He plays more like a central midfielder in that sense, and Pep has played him further up the pitch before. He's really good, Lewis. He dances around players. He's not afraid to receive the ball. He can pass out from the back as well. He gets up and down the pitch really well for the full 90 minutes. And today, I think it just didn't go too... He just didn't get the rub of the green when he was up in the pitch, because there's a couple of times when he's receiving the ball on the edge of the box or just inside it, trying to turn, and the ball would just get away from him a little bit. And I think he just needs that little bit of luck, and I think he would have been all right today. But his goal, his chance where he hit the crossbar in the first half, he really should be scoring that. Centre half, you had Akanji and Diaz. Look, I say it all the time. I'd never put Edison in my FPL team, and I don't really like putting City defenders in my FPL team either, because I just don't trust us to keep a clean sheet. And we didn't today. They scored their first attack, pretty much their only attack. We scored from it. It squirts through his legs. It is one of those. He got something on it. He was unlucky, Edison, in the end. But yeah, when we play that high line, they counter one through ball or one ball over the top. Bit of pace. You've done us every single time. But other than that, I think Diaz and Akanji did really well. Because of the Ipswich, I will say for Ipswich as well while I'm talking about this, because they did have a little bit of a battle on the hands, Diaz and Akanji, because Ipswich are quite a physical team, and I saw that today. They weren't afraid to get stuck in, and they were throwing elbows. That's what I was saying about the referee earlier. I'm surprised they didn't give more yellow cards, particularly to them, because there was a couple of occasions where they went in through the back of City players. They were leaving tackles in late. They were throwing their elbows out. Like the one on Akanji was when he's elbowed Akanji. I think it was Delap, who I think looked really good today. Delap actually looked at him and then threw his elbow up in his face. It's got to be a yellow card. That. But other than that, I thought those two stood up pretty well. Like I said, they've not got pace, so if you're going to knock the ball over the top of them, it is what it is. But in the second half, they controlled it quite well. Left-hand side, Guardiola, not seeing much of him because Lewis is the one getting forward rather than him. So when we push him forward, Guardiola drops into the back three. So yeah, he's a little bit more defensive so far at the beginning of this season, but I have no problems with him. He's nice and strong. He wins his headers. He's good in duels as well. No problem there. Midfield, Kovacic, I think he was having a good time until he went off injured. Again, he picks up the ball in dangerous areas. He's like Rodgers, and he's like the anchor point. When we're passing out from the back with Edison, he's the one that's always in the middle on map, being able to go left or right with it. And I think he's had a good game. Got injured, unfortunately. De Bruyne, ahead of him. He took his goal really well with his left foot, got an assist, wonderful ball over the top. I don't think many people are going to be talking about that pass from him to Haaland for Haaland's second goal, but what a ball that is over the top. He cuts out the entire Ipswich defence, leaves the goalkeeper hanging as well in no man's land. Unbelievable ball. Unlucky to not get a goal as well when he hit the crossbar later on in the first half. But yeah, good play from De Bruyne. Not quite up to full speed, you can see that, but he's getting there, isn't he? He's starting to pull the strings for us now. Alongside him, you had Bernardo, who kind of just did his thing. I was saying this in the second half, watching it, that I forget he's playing. And I think with Bernardo, sometimes when he's playing in the middle, you kind of want that from him, because it means they're not doing anything. He's not needing to do anything too much. He was just kind of the go between the defense, midfield, and the forwards. He was just picking up the balls, just passing it on to De Bruyne or feeding through Savinho and Doku on the other side. So yeah, good play from him. Right hand side, Savinho, I think he was our live wire today. He looked really good again. He's quick with his feet. He's not afraid to attack the fullback. He's always wanted to do it. He can cut inside. He can go on the outside as well, like we saw when he won the penalty. He wins the ball from Muric for De Bruyne's goal. Fantastic player. I'm really liking him at the moment, and I'm loving how direct he is. Left-hand side, Doku, I think much like the Chelsea game, I think at moments he's trying too hard. There's a point, I think he tackles De Bruyne as well when he didn't, don't need to tackle your own players in the first half. But I just think he's trying too hard. And when you've seen Savinho on the other side having all that look, he's pushing it too much. There's a couple of occasions where he could have tried to get past players on the outside, knocks out a play, did that a few times. He was unable to take on his man, get past him so many times as well. Again, not for me. Kind of game like this where everyone's sitting back on the edge of the box. This is a time for Grealish to come on the pitch, not Doku. He just didn't have his luck today. And up front, Haaland gets his hat-trick. First one penalty, second one takes really well, third one. I mean, I watched it unfold in real time, and I'm level with the penalty box when he hits it. It just seemed to trickle in, he got no power on it, but the accuracy he got it because it was right in that far corner. In the near corner to him. Muric probably should have saved it, but it is what it is. Yeah, good goals for him. So he's up and running as well. 2 games, 4 goals for him. I think it's 101 appearances and 94 goals now. That is frightening. It's his 10th hat-trick for us. Unbelievable. And yeah, I should have put him in my FPL team and captain him, but I did not. I've taken him out and I put De Bruyne in. Captained him though. At least I get some points for him. It's not too bad. So yeah, that's it. That's the match reaction. Good result in the end. 4 goals. Conceded 1, which is a shame. Thinking should have been more goals, particularly in the first half when we were really putting them under the sword. Because you score 3 goals in the first 16 minutes, you really should be scoring more than 1 goal after that. Because it wasn't like it was all them, it was all us. 6 points. We take it, we move on. I think it's West Ham next weekend in London. That's going to be a difficult game. They won today. Thanks very much for watching. Hit like, hit subscribe. Yeah, that's it. Bye-bye.